Hey, good morning, guys. I'm Jose with GeneratingEntrepreneurs.com. I just wanted to touch bases with you and share with everyone what helped me stop smoking and drinking. You know, when I was smoking cigarettes and drinking back when I had my health was a lot worse, there was that period of time where I was about 10 years of not doing exercise and just doing horrible things to my health and horrible decisions. And I thought that when I was ready to finally stop smoking, that I was going to kick the habit by replacing cigarettes with something not as bad. And so I went out and I started to try doing something like chew. And it led from replacing my cigarette addiction to going over to a chew addiction. And I did that for about 6 months and nothing good came out of it. You know, I stopped doing the chew, went right back to the cigarettes. And the biggest thing I learned from that was you can't replace a bad habit with another one. If you're going to replace a habit at all, it's going to be something that's going to be beneficial to you. I mean, I used to have a beer every Friday afternoon, and I would say, oh, it's Friday, I get off work, it's time to celebrate, and I would grab a beer. And at the end of the day, every Friday would add up to nothing in return for me. And that was for years. And so I just replaced that habit with doing something for me at that point where I knew that Friday night was going to be a trigger for me. And if I didn't do something to replace that trigger or to acknowledge that, that's where I felt weak. And that's when I'm vulnerable to wanting to go get that alcohol. Friends will call me. You have all these things coming up. Friday night, you know, everybody's ready, excited for the weekend. And it's the most common time that you're going to drink the weekend and being around friends. So get rid of those triggers. Get rid of those habits that you've tried to replace the bad habits with, and really focus on making good, structured decisions about your day. Keep track of your time. This is something that also helped me. I had a schedule created and I wrote down everything I did all day, from the time I woke up to what I ate. I mean, things I was reading, the stuff I did when I went to work. And I just did it for 1 week. And I wanted to see where my time was, what I was doing with my schedule, like how my day was, you know. And I found a lot of holes in my schedule, a lot of dead time. And the dead time is when I was thinking of buying a beer, or I want to have a cigarette, or this is a routine thing for me. And I started to see there was a pattern. And once I started to see a pattern, I just went in there and I said, okay, well, if I know that after a meal it feels really good for me to have a cigarette, that's a trigger. That's something for me that I know I can already think, like, man, before I even eat this food, I'm gonna want to smoke after. And so what I would do is I would set myself up in a way where I couldn't smoke after I eat. And I did things where I made it really uncomfortable for me to continue those patterns of bad behaviors. And so slowly, after time, it didn't happen over 2 weeks or a month, but slowly I started to see changes in my routine and changes in my health. And where I would look for things like having a beer Friday nights, I was going out, hanging out with people and just walking around, going exercising. I mean, I would schedule the gym Friday nights when I get out of work. And that just helped me stop doing all these bad habits. And I slowly started replacing them with good habits. And after a period of time, 3-4 months, you look down the road and all the things that you used to do that are bad for you, and the things that you really wanted to change in your life, you'll notice that you make a drastic change in a new direction. You just have to take one day at a time and look for those support systems. Now, people aren't going to be there to support you on your journey of stop smoking and drinking all the time, but what you can do is you can make support systems that are around you at all times that you need. So don't put yourself in a position where you know that if I hang out with this person, they love to drink, and that's what we usually do. Limit the interaction with that person. Don't just, cold turkey stop talking to them, but don't put yourself in a position where you're going to find yourself weak to want to go and do things like that anymore. So again, this goes down to scheduling. This goes down to seeing where the holes are in your time, because if you have idle time for anyone, that's when you're going to start thinking of things that you can do to stop being bored. And I really feel in my heart that's where all this comes from, is when we medicate ourselves, when we drink, when we smoke, that's just looking for like a way out of the fact that we don't have the life that we truly love. we all fall victim of the work. We all fall victim of, some of us have kids too early, some of us have responsibilities. I mean, life happens. Life happens to every single one of us. But it's really important, again, I say this in all my videos, you guys have to go back to learning to love yourself and doing things that make you happy. Because if you have things in your life that are making you happy, then you're going to be less susceptible to doing things like self-medicating and wanting to find those things that help you escape. You know, get rid of the triggers. You can't replace those bad habits with another bad habit. You got to set up and maintain your schedule and just monitor the things you do with your time, and just create those support systems, those positive people that always do things that are reinforcing good behaviors, good habits. And for the most part, these people aren't smoking, they're not drinking, they're not influencing these bad habits, they're not making you feel like if I hang out with this person, they're going to give me temptation. Avoid all that. Make it much easier for yourself. Just get rid of those temptations and those people that make you do those things that you don't like to do. It's not that they make you do it, but it's a lot more easy for you to be in a situation where you will do it when you're hanging out with them, opposed to hanging out with someone that doesn't do those things. So that's my advice. I mean, nothing is going to work guaranteed. There's no 100% result to stop smoking and drinking, but all these ideas could help. This could be something that you can use to get you going, and just modify it from here. Just use this as your first few things to help you get started, and just work on it. Work on it every single day. This is a battle. This isn't something that's going to just happen overnight. You're not going to wake up and 2 weeks go by, you're doing really good, and don't think you're not going to have a craving, and don't think you're not going to have a trigger. And that's when it counts, is when you're going through 2-3 weeks in, even if it's 2-3 days in, even if it's a few hours in, every little battle, it adds up to the main war in the end. And if you can overcome those addictions, even one situation at a time, you're winning. You are really winning. And learn to take it easy on yourself. It's going to be a transition that may take some time. It took some time to develop these bad habits, and it's also going to take some time to break them also. So I'm Jose with generatingentrepreneurs.com. I hope this video helped. If it does, please like, share, subscribe, and I would love your feedback. I'd love your comments, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, guys. You guys have a great day.